O nosso próximo convidado, na verdade, ele vai pôr em causa uma das declarações, eu não devia dizer isto, eles não me deixam, mas eu digo na mesma, uma das declarações do CEO da Microsoft. O CEO da Microsoft teve uma declaração agora recente, o Satya Nadella, que diz "Every business is a tech business". E eu acho que o nosso próximo orador vai pôr um bocadinho disto em causa. Será que todos os negócios têm, de facto, hoje em dia, de ser tech ou high-tech? Ele é o Global Head of Alliances da KPMG, atua como Global Lead Partner da Microsoft, apoiou empresas globais de tecnologia da Fortune 500 em estratégias de gestão de informações, cloud e conformidade. Como se eu soubesse o que é que isto quer dizer. Extraordinário. Mas é hoje que vou aprender, tenho ideia. Tem mais de 20 anos de experiência em consultoria e liderou vários projetos internacionais para clientes blue chip. Também não sei. Blue chip, sabem o que é? Também não sabe. Estamos juntos neste barco, não é, meus caros? Bom, eu tenho muito em comum com este próximo orador, porque ele também é um amante de cerveja. Pelo menos é o que eu tenho aqui escrito. E é surfista, o que é sempre bom para as vistas, não é, senhores? Faz o barulho para Jens Rassloff, senhoras e senhores. Nice to meet you, sir. Oh, a kiss. So nice. How's he feeling?
Bom dia. When Windows. I tried that about 39 times, and this is how far my Portuguese goes. And I was just said we have a grammar mistake on the first slide with that, so sorry for that. So great to be here, thank you. It's always a bit scary when you're in the back and you understand nothing and somebody's talking. The only thing you understand is your name and everybody's laughing. So let's see. It's great to be here. Always love to be in Portugal, and it's great to see how innovative and how much power a pretty small nation can bring, and where all you see Portuguese firms today. So that's really great. And Lisbon, with the people you have here, with the innovation which just goes on here, I think to me, it's one of the places in Europe. I come from Berlin, but it's definitely, apart from the weather, which was really not nice yesterday, that was better in Berlin, it's really one of the places to be for me. So, every business is a tech business, or business is a tech business, or every company is going to become a tech business. Is that really the case? Is this really true? The sentence has been quoted so often in the last 4 or 5 years. And when you look, it was first done by Peter Sondergaard, a Gartner analyst, in 2013. And he said every business is a tech business. And now we are in 2020. So let's discuss a bit. Is this really the case? Is this really there? And what does that mean for all the businesses? What does it mean for the tech companies? What does it mean for Microsoft? What does it mean for the startups? And what does it mean for the traditional industries? So if we start with a satellite view, what do you think, how much of the world's created GDP is done by the tech companies? Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, IBM, Google. More than 50% already? More than 25%? Or less than 10? So what do you think? Who thinks it's more than 50% what's done on GDP by the tech industry? Who thinks it's more than 25? Who thinks it's less than 10? Okay, for the rest it's too early, they need a coffee clearly. So it's less than 10. And when you look at that, it doesn't sound big. But when you think 10% of the global GDP would be an equivalent to the 3rd largest country in the world. And some of you, the older ones, still remember the crisis in 2010 when the stock market crashed, when the tech in 2000 and in 2008, 2010 went down. Most of that happened within the last 20 years. So Leila quoted the Moore's Law, where we are right now. So the influence of that 10% will be immense on the rest. And what's happening now and what's happening over the last 2, 3, 4 years. So I felt really old this morning when the jingles were playing. I said, gosh, I bought most of those songs on vinyl myself when they came out. So it really happened in the last 3, 4 years. I think we, KPMG ourselves, we count ourselves as the other 90. So I still bring my disaster recovery backup slides here if nothing works. So far to trust in technology. The other 90 is not tech. What does it mean to the other 90%? To the banks, to the manufacturing industry, to the shipping industry, to everything, up to the government entities. They are at an inflection point right now. We put the claim on when we started our own digital journey internally. We need to put technology in everything we do. Does that mean we have to become a technology company? Probably not. But does that mean we have to embrace technology? And Leila talked about that. What does that transformation mean? How can we prepare a company to work technology savvy? I think no business will survive in the next 5 years. If Moore's law is somehow right, and there's a lot of discussion whether it's breaking or whether it's tipping. There was a great discussion last week in Davos together with AWS, with Google, and with Microsoft about the impact of quantum computing to traditional industries. And people said in the audience, oh God, now there is this professor coming talking about quantum, I don't understand a word. And the one thing where everybody started to listen was, in less than 5 years, the first quantum solutions will be ready to deploy. That will kill probably every security model, every risk model, every compliance model in the financial service industry. And you don't want to start thinking about that in 5 years. You want to start thinking about that right now. So the impact on the other 90% will be immense. The dilemma is we do every year a CEO outlook, talk to about 1,500 CEOs, to our clients, see what moves them, what is their issue, what drives them. And the CEOs we talk to, they want to build resilient and sustainable organizations. They want to capitalize on disruption. They want to be the movers. They want to be the front runners. They want to create innovation-friendly cultures, and so on and so on. There's a lot of good ideas. There's a lot of good motion on doing that. The problem is, in the same study, just 30% of the CEOs believed, and they were very honest, I think it's even less because it's a critical question, just 30% said, I think my company and my people can do that. So we don't think we are ready. We need to move. We will die if we don't move. But we, as a traditional company, are probably not ready. We didn't interview tech companies, though. So it's a significant majority who looks for a solution at the moment, which is, I think, for the audience here, for the startups, for the tech companies, up to the Microsoft, is a great opportunity. So going there, does that mean a company needs to become a tech business or a tech company? We discussed that question internally so many times ourselves. And we invested into solutions. We invested into development benches. We invested into really core development, core technology. Honestly, the two major takeaways, we are too slow and we are too expensive. So our lessons learned was definitely we need to stay tuned to our value proposition, to what we can do, what we are good at, and do what we are best. And the most important thing, and that was a crucial lessons learned for us, is partnering with the best. Don't do everything your own. Try to embrace the ecosystem and build just what you can do and work with the tech companies who can do that. And I think that goes both ways. That goes same ways for startups. If you are good in technology, do technology. You must not go the last mile to distribution. Find a partner, find a traditional firm. When you look, Tesla is a great example. When the car came out, They did the most complicated things. They turned a car into a software product. They delivered the Model S. It was reliable. Me being German, manufacturing-wise, was still an American car, so it was a bit clunky, but it was a good car. Where did they almost fail on last year? Shipping the Model 3, which was the less complicated thing. Same software. They completely screwed it up on the manufacturing process. I think that's the easiest way. You go to China, partner with somebody, build a car that's done for 100 years. But that's where they failed first. He fixed it. He reinvented the way he's doing manufacturing. But I think if you put that on your glasses, when you're good in technology as a startup, when you're a good software house, when you have a good solutions, don't try to do everything yourself the other way around. And also, if you're in a traditional business, don't try to become a technology expert. So I think you don't have to become a software company. You don't have to become a tech company yourself. But you have to invent something which we call digital leadership. And that is way more than just tax. Audit, tax advisory. So more than just technology, not tax. So it is, I would say, to a high degree about people, about innovation, and about change. Leila talked about the innovation process, and it's an ongoing process. The thing is, what we need to do and what traditional business needs to recognize and needs to value is you cannot change into a technology company by behaving the same. And being in Berlin, I've seen a lot of companies just trying to run around in jeans and take off their ties and go into a fancy office, but don't start behaving differently. They didn't change their compensation models. They didn't compensate their salespeople on new products. They did not disrupt old products. They basically said, yeah, we need to do something with technology. And then when I talked to a business and the CEO told me, oh yeah, talk to my CRO or talk to my IT guy, which is even worse, I said, okay, you're done. If you don't embrace that yourself, if you don't at least understand in your mindset what does that use of technology means for yourself, you as a company will be in trouble. So when we take a closer look on the leadership agenda, I think, and this is something where most of you in the audience can deliver way more than your product or your solution or your technology. You can deliver change into clients. You can help them really to embrace and to understand. And sometimes on the technology side, we have to put the arrogance away that we think, oh, we are the ones who do the technology and we are the ones who drive it. There's a lot we can learn from the traditional business. But more than just providing the technology, you can be a great advisor and you can be a great partner for the change of a traditional firm. And on the leadership side, as a business owner, we need to instill the trust with our workers, with our employees, that this is change is taken seriously. We've seen employees at the moment, the market is extremely hot, running away from profitable companies because they say, I think we are not set up for the future. There's the younger generation who looks at what we do, who looks at what companies are doing, what traditional companies are doing, and says, if you go on like that, you will be in trouble. So as a leader, you need to embrace that. As a startup, you can deliver great help there. So for me, at the end of the day, the biggest mythbuster is if you are a company who is not in technology today, and this is what very often is forgotten in IT project, it's not about the technology at all. It should be about your customer. There's a lot of projects being done, a lot of technology projects being done, which at the end of the day don't deliver on your value proposition, don't deliver on your customer needs. So yes, you can do and you must transform. But on the other side, just doing technology to do technology, which is very often the case and which is not transferring and translating into your own value proposition, very often doesn't make sense. And that again counts the other way around. When I see startups, those startups are focused on the technology, which is great, but if you don't focus on the need of your clients, of your customers, of your clients, or of your industry, it will fail. So real quick, two great examples. One is Maersk, and the other one is Marriott. And there's a bit of reading text to that. So both ones have run huge projects on digitizing their core business. But what they have in common, and it's great, it's a great book behind it where you can read those references. It's really great to see that they completely focused on their core competencies. They focused on what they want to do. They want to provide better shipping at lower cost and lower risk. And that was on the top of the mindset. When I talked to the CIO of Marriott, what that project was about, he said, I want to provide the best bed available to every guest. The CIO, not the CEO. I said, well, that's a great speech. So they really focused on their core values. And I want to leave you with that for the rest of the day and get you think about, if you are in a traditional business, embrace technology, and that is more than just doing 3 meetings or acquiring 2 startups. This is changing your mindset, understanding what technology means to your business. And on the other side, if you are a startup, go beyond what you do on your product, go beyond what you do on technology. Go partner with firms who understand the industry, who understand your customer's customer, and use the power of what you have being an advisor, really understanding the technology. So again, it's great to be here. I wish you thrilling 3 days, and thank you. Have a great day.